Hi guys, my name's Andrew and I'm from Kaplan International representing our USA partners. Thank you so much for joining this webinar session today. Sorry I can't be there with you, but I hope you're having a great fair and that this session will be really informative for you. Throughout the slides, I'm just going to share my screen so you guys can follow through. You can see what exactly I'm talking about, what it kind of means, and basically who we are. So a little bit about myself. So my name's Andrew, so I work for Kaplan International. At Kaplan, we have partners across the USA, UK, Australia, and today specifically, I'm going to be talking about our USA. So specifically with the US, I'll talk about the fees, the funding, and also what makes the US such a great study destination, and why now even more students are wanting to study in the US. So briefly, what you can actually study in the US. So in the US, there's over 4,000 institutions. And because of that, there's a really broad range of different subject areas you can study. So whether it's from art and design to business, to finance, to computing, education, social sciences, real kind of wide different variety of courses which are enabled for you. And because of that, it really opens the door option to lots of different majors and minors combinations through your studies. Now, specifically at Kaplan International, we have 4 USA universities partnerships. And with our partnership with Calvert and Ego Perfectis, you guys are open to apply to these universities. Now, US universities dominate the world rankings and they are very welcoming to international students. They're one of the tops, the US is one of the top destinations chosen by international students because of that as well. So briefly, I'll highlight our 4 university partners, so who they are. So we have 4 university partners in the US. These are Arizona State University, University of Connecticut, also known as UConn, Pace University, and Simmons University. Now, these 4 universities all offer a slightly unique, different offering. And with all of these universities, they have great location, they have great scholarships, and they also have great rankings. So they'll be sure to appeal to one of these for you. There's different pricing options available, so don't automatically think studying in the US is very expensive. I'm going to be highlighting effectively what the fees are and how much it works and everything like that as well. So specifically, I get a lot of questions about why should students study in the US? So why is it better? What's the benefits? So the first thing you may have seen that I've already mentioned a few times is that the USA is the world's #1 destination for international students. So one of the reasons for that is that students can apply for what they call an OPT, which is an optional practical training. So once you've finished your undergraduate or graduate studies, you have 1 year typically to stay in the US to work and obviously experience working in the US. And then if you applied for a STEM degree, a science, technology, engineering, or maths, you can then stay in the US for an extra 2 years, so 3 years overall, to work. You would have seen already, there's a real wide range of different broad range of subjects and different subject areas you can study as part of your degree. Degrees in the US are a little bit formatted differently. So what you'll see is the degree length is slightly longer. And because of that, students study a general education, which is normally where you study a bit of literacy or a little bit of numeracy to keep those broad skills developed as well. Another big reason to study in the US is definitely the sporting culture, and universities in general are massive when you look at them in comparison to some of our UK universities. So with the US, there's opportunities to participate in college varsity sports, college athletics, American football, basketball, baseball, and lots of different other sports. Now, one of the reasons why sports are so big in the US is because a lot of the high leagues, so the NFL, the NBA, a lot of these leagues, they feed from the college athletics. So it's very common for a student to study at a university, they do college football, American football, and then they transfer. Once they've done, they might get scouted to go to in the NBA teams. So this just gives you an idea from one of our partners, Arizona State University, of the overall size and I guess the scale of investment in sporting facilities. So I'll draw your attention to the bottom right picture here. This is the Sun Devil Stadium. So this holds over 65,000 people. And as you can see here, it gets very busy when the Sun Devils are playing. ASU's sports team is known as the Sun Devils. And this arena has been used for NFL training before by the New England Patriots. On the top right, you can see 3 outdoor swimming pools. So Arizona State University, I'll dive into a bit more about their warm climate, but Michael Phelps is their assistant swim coach and students get access to these facilities. They have their own Sun Devil baseball arena, and they have their own basketball arena known as the Sun Devil Desert Financial Arena, which houses around 15,000 students. And this is also very popular for graduation as well. So when students graduate, that's where you'll be. So for students, quite often they'll get discounted tickets, and it's great to kind of support the Sun Devils. You don't necessarily have to be into sports, but when you see the atmosphere and I guess the atmosphere and what it's like, you would definitely want to be a part of these. Now, in terms of studying in the US, how it works. So to apply to the US, it's a very straightforward application process. Applications are all done through Kaplan International, and the Kalba or Ego Perfectus representatives will be able to help you apply. It's all done through one portal, and generally our partners have different entry requirements. So in the US, they work off something what we call a GPA, which is a grade point average system. Don't worry if you don't know what your GPA is, we can have a look at your certificates and calculate what that is. So generally to progress to undergraduate degrees, we're looking for a minimum of a 2.5 GPA up to around a 3.5 GPA. Generally, a 3.0 GPA, you are considered top 30% in your class, to get an idea of what that is as well. And then we're looking for your English language scores, so TOEFL 61 or IELTS 6.0. But just to note, it does depend on which university partner and which courses. Some do have higher entry requirements. For graduate admission, we look for around a 3.0 GPA, and the master's degrees typically 1 to 2 years, depending on what students will study. And then once you've done that, obviously you graduate with your bachelor's or master's degree. So now I'm briefly going to highlight a little bit about our university partners, who they are, where they're located, and what we offer. So our largest university, which obviously I've already mentioned, I've showed you a few pictures, is Arizona State University. It's one of the largest public universities in the US, and it has over 100,000 students. So it's a massive, massive school. And the way I normally describe ASU is what you kind of see a lot of the time in your more typical American movies, with the frat parties, with the large athletics, the large college life. They have 5 locations. 4 campuses are located in the city of Phoenix, and they have 1 campus in Lake Havasu, which has more affordable tuition, which starts from around $10,500 per year. Now, ASU has some really great rankings. They're very popular for international students, so it's a top 10 university chosen by international students. And it also has some really great employability rankings. So it's number 3 in the world for employer-student connections. It's a very warm climate, as you can see from the palm trees. The average temperature is around 30 degrees, and then the lowest is around 18, 20 degrees it gets to. So it's a very nice warm climate and a study destination, hence the outdoor pools I showed you earlier. Now, your geography may not be too good of the US in terms of the different states and where everything is based. You might know of the main states such as California or New York or Florida. And I always like to highlight this just so you can kind of have an accurate representation of where everything is. So Arizona State University is based in the city of Phoenix, and the city of Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the US. So it's continually growing, and especially with its close location to California, a lot of the Silicon Valley companies are relocating to states and cities such as Phoenix because the costs are so high. So it represents really good value for money as well. You can see here in the US, it's very common for internal flights. So to fly to Phoenix, to LA, or to Los Angeles, it's only around an hour and a half. So it's very easy to do that as well. And lots of kind of job opportunities available there. Now, they have 1 campus, which you can kind of see on the map here, which is the Lake Havasu. So the Lake Havasu campus is more of a small town campus setting. So it's great for students who enjoy the outdoors. So if you enjoy the hiking, the warm weather, Lake Havasu, I guess, is your more typical spring break location. So it gets very busy during spring break. It's hence the name, it's on a lake, but lots of places to go, places to do. Now, the unique thing with the Lake Havasu is the program tuition fees, with these fees starting from just $10,500 per year. Now, it's a fully ASU accredited degree, and students can either transfer from the Lake Havasu campus to the main Phoenix campuses. So it's a really great option if you want that more affordable US study. But then if you really wanted to transfer to the Phoenix campus and get that more typical US college lifestyle with all the arenas, with the sports, and you can still absolutely do that as well. And there's lots of obviously outdoor locations for students to get involved in. With the prices for all, I'm going to be breaking this down just at the end of the presentation, just on a clear table so you can get an accurate representation of what everything costs. Now at ASU, there's over 350 different bachelor's and majors concentrations. So there's over 200 master's degrees, and there's 13 academic colleges, such as the Thunderbird School of Management, W.P. Carey School of Business, and you can see here, there's some really high rankings for ASU. So it's a very research focused, they're very innovative in terms of pushing their subjects forward. So you can see here, top 5 in management, top 50 in business, top 150 in computer science, and these are world rankings as well. So great rankings, especially when you consider how many universities are obviously located in the US and in the world. I won't bring up a full list, but if you do want to see specific courses, you can log on to our degree finder, which I'll show you a little bit more later on. Our next university is a little bit smaller and located on a different area of the US, which is the University of Connecticut. University of Connecticut is located in the Northeast, halfway between New York and Boston. I'll show a map in a minute if you're not too sure where that is. But with UConn, it's a top 25 public university, and it was founded in 1881. So it's a very historic, traditional university. It's set on a really beautiful New England campus. So you can see their main building behind you with the bell tower. And UConn is a very research-focused university. So it's a tier 1 research university, which is the highest classification in the US. What this means for you as students is that your subjects, your lecturers, your professors, they're the ones who are pushing the subject forward. They're the ones making the new research, the new discovery. So whenever a university is highly research intensive, it's a very good option for you to turn as a student. This is a map of the US again. So we've gone from kind of the Southwest all the way up to the Northeast pretty much. So the UConn, the main campus is Stores, and they also have 4 regional campuses. Most international students will be encouraged to apply for the Stores campus. And then if you don't get in, you might be offered a place at one of the regional campuses. And you can see it's in a great location, halfway between 2 big cities, Boston and New York City. Now with UConn, a little bit of an overview is that they're very well known for their sports as well. So you may have come across the UConn Huskies before. The UConn Huskies are a sports team which compete in 23 national championships across the 24 Division I athletics teams, which is the highest league you can get. So they're very supportive of their Husky teams, whether it's ice hockey, basketball, American football. And there's over 24,000 undergraduate students split up across their 5 campuses, and lots of different international organizations which students can get involved in. With UConn, it is a competitive university to get into, so they do look for a higher GPA, and the application process, the deadlines are a little bit earlier compared to other partners, so it's around January the students need to apply. You can see here the different majors and what they offer. So there's over 115 different major contributions. There's typically a 16:1 student faculty ratio, and you can see here, these are some of the different majors which students can study. They're very well known for their accounting, so 25 for accounting, 69 for engineering, 87 for computer science. Just really nice rankings and key subjects there as well. So over to one of our other partners, which is Simmons University. And Simmons University is located in Boston. So you would have seen on the map, that was the one in the kind of the far north. And Boston is actually #1 student city in the US. It's great for students because there's so many different universities located in Boston. It's home of the Red Sox, for example. You probably know a few of the other universities located there. And it's got a great top 105 ranking overall. With Simmons University, at undergraduate level, it is focused on women's centered. So it's a women's leadership school. So what this means is that at undergraduate level, it's only for females. And it's ranked top 31 best valued university in the USA. So you're probably thinking, what is a women's-centered school? So Simmons was set up as part of the Seven Sisters, and the Seven Sisters were your rivals to your Ivy League schools. So back when Ivy League schools were first set up, they were very male-orientated. So these schools were set up to kind of rival your Ivy League schools. If you don't know what Ivy League schools are, maybe you know the UK, they're similar to kind of like Russell Group universities. Now, with Simmons University, it's very focuses on women's leadership and empowering women leaders. So it does very well. It has a co-ed grad school. You'll still get mixed professors. It's just at undergraduate level, that's what it focuses on. They have over 50 different majors for you to choose from, and they have an 80 8-to-1 faculty ratio with around 1,700 students. So it's a very kind of small, close-knit, gated community and great rankings as well. Now, with Simmons University, this is just an example of their map. So they're located in downtown Boston, which is around 25 minutes into the center of Boston in the Longwood medical area. So you can see here, you have your residence campuses, you have your sports arena, your academic buildings. So it's all quite close, nicely together in one spot. Our final university partner is Pace University, and Pace University is located in New York. New York is the #2 student city. Obviously, first was Boston, as I just explained. And with Pace University, it has 2 campuses. One campus is located in downtown Manhattan, and the other campus is in Westchester. Westchester to the downtown Manhattan campus is around 45 minutes. So it's great for students who want to study in the Big Apple. It's just a stone's throw away from Wall Street, so you're really in the heart of New York. With Pace University, they're very employability and internship focused. So great if you want to build employability connections, if you want to network. They're very well known for their salaries. So they're top 10% for salary potential in the USA. There's over 135 nationalities represented. So it's a very international university for students to study at. You can see here, these are some of the different subject areas and different combination routes students can study, such as art and humanities, health, finance, economics, computer science, a real kind of wide range of different degree areas. A few fast facts. So the faculty ratio is 16-to-1. It is a private university, but it's not a large university with around 13,000 students, and they have over 60 bachelor's and 30 master's degrees you can choose from. So there are our 4 university partners, and that just gives you a brief overview of, I guess, what they offer, what makes them different. Now, I get a lot of questions about studying in the US compared to the UK. What is the difference? Why you should choose the US? So obviously, the first thing you may have noticed is bachelor's degrees in the US are actually 4 years. Now, the main reason for that is you study something called general education, so you build up your numeracy and your literacy skills still as well. But what there is there's an opportunity to actually transfer credits before you officially start at a US university. So for example, if you're in high school now, we offer something through Arizona State University called Accelerate ASU, where you can earn college transfer credits before you even start. So then your degree is already shorter because you've already studied some US college credits you can transfer. There's loads of different majors, and it's very common for students to transfer universities or transfer courses. So don't feel like if you're stuck on a course and it's not for you and you want to transfer, you can do, that's absolutely fine. There's lots of different internships available, and the US is definitely considered one of the best study destinations in the world. Now, the biggest question that I always get is the cost. People assume it is a very expensive study destination. And with the US, it can be argued it is expensive, but there are definitely affordable options there as well. So to apply for a US study visa, you need at least 1 year, 1 year's proof of funding. So what this is these are the estimated costs for each year of study. So generally we say it's between 31 to 71,000 US dollars and 45 to 70,000 US dollars for graduate. So this just gives you an idea of roughly how much it will cost. Now, this is a brief table, so this just highlights everything in particular. So you can see here the base tuition for undergraduate fees, and they vary from 31 to 10 to 37, 45, 40,000 US dollars. So this is the fees you pay. But what's really important to note is that there are scholarships available. And with the scholarships, I've referenced the highest scholarships we offer. So they can be from 15 to 5 to 22, 20, 20. So these are the fees you would pay if you've got the highest scholarship. So ASU at Lake Havasu, for example, 5,000 US dollars for a fully US accredited degree is a great price, and obviously some really good options for that. For Simmons, for example, we offer a 50% women's leadership scholarship, which brings down your fees to around 20,000 US dollars. And to apply for that, you have to submit an application form. For the ASU scholarships, you can see on here, these are the different examples of what score you would need and what level of English and the scholarship you would get. So if you wanted to check before you apply what scholarship you might be able to get, you can send us your transcripts, we can look at your level of English, and you'll be able to pretty much tell exactly what your costs will be as well. So I hope you guys have found that information useful. That was a really whistle-stop tour of studying in the US. If you do want to find any more information or want to hear about us, please speak to your Cowboy or Ego Perfectus representatives. Feel free to visit our Kaplan website at kaplanpathways.com/UCA. And if you want to contact us, these are my contact details. Feel free to email me or WhatsApp me. That's absolutely fine. So thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Enjoy the rest of the fair and stay safe. Take care. Goodbye.